So I have many different responsibilities here at Lick Observatory. The primary one is as a support astronomer, so I am responsible for making sure the telescopes and instruments are fully functioning for our visiting astronomers from all the UC campuses, as well as training visiting astronomers how to use our unique instruments and telescopes. I'm also the visitor services supervisor, so I'm in charge of all our public outreach programs and our visitor center. So the term astrophotography generally means taking pictures of the sky. Now, professional astronomers do this with our telescopes, and we can take images of the sky through our telescopes. It's essentially acting like huge eyeballs to collect more light so we can see the super faint objects in the sky. However, more generically, astrophotography is used to describe more what amateur astronomers do with putting their own camera on a telescope and creating some absolutely stunning pictures of the sky. The difference is that, astrophotographers, the amateur astrophotographers, who are incredible photographers, they do amazing work, are usually using smaller telescopes and have a much wider field of view, so they get a better picture of a wide area of the sky. Whereas astronomers with our telescopes are really looking in detail at very small areas of the sky, usually trying to look at the details of a particular object. And so our goals are different. Professional astronomers are often looking for the scientific content of an image that's taken in a particular color, whereas the amateur astrophotographers are more looking for beauty, and there's much more room for artistic interpretation. Both have wonderful merits. We want to understand more about the universe, but it's also amazing to appreciate the beauty of what is out there in the sky.
Yeah, see, 0, 0. That 0, 0, 0 is probably good enough. One thing that's the upside and the downside, running a system like this, electronic engineering background, is very helpful. Also, OCD and a bit of ADHD actually helps. For me, this is like, I don't lose attention. I get hyper focus on things. Balance and alignment are extremely important. If this thing is not dead level in all directions, it won't track right. This point right here, where the mount where this is the mount to the tripod, is not dead perfect. Game over. You don't even start your night. You guys know about pirates and stuff, right? And what was one of their signature things? Eye patch, right? Yeah. Do you know why they wore eye patches? So it's not about that, it's about protecting your vision in your dominant eye. The camera, the software is basically shooting over and over and over. It's like I'm doing exposures, and so it's not stacking, but it keeps adjusting how long the image is, so the duration, as well as the gain that it's giving it, which is starting to get to be a little too much. So I'm going to adjust that down a bit. So what this is, so currently overexposed, too much gain, pushed it just for the sake of are we actually capturing this thing? Because it was really dim, right? But the object is M13, which is a globular cluster in Hercules, which is the great globular cluster, the biggest, craziest one out there. Approximately, people guessing, about 500,000 stars.
One of the great things about Lick Observatory is that we have the facilities to do all sorts of types of research, and so I can actually study the black holes at the centers of active galaxies and quasars to try and figure out what environment they're in, and a lot of that's because of our unique instrumentation that we put on the telescopes, such as the Laser Guide Star adaptive optics system that I use. Astronomers often get asked, is there life out there? And the fact is, we suspect there is. The universe is so large, and we've discovered now so many planets around other stars that are in what's called the habitable zone, where you could have liquid water that might help life form. So most astronomers think that life is probably out there somewhere. It might be even on one of the moons around Jupiter. It wouldn't surprise me in the next few decades if we actually start discovering the hallmarks of life on other planets. Proving it is going to be hard. There are very hard measurements to make and detections to make, but I think we're really close.